I'm a unionist by bootstraps, as you all know, and a Scotsman. I'm not very keen on the Scottish Parliament. I think it's a tremendous mistake, and I also think the Welsh Parliament was a tremendous mistake. And it's Mr. Blair playing fast and loose with our constitution, which he didn't understand. But we are where we are. My problem with Paul's proposal is I think it might fire up English nationalism. If there is going to be any form of an English Parliament, I think it would be better or more credible if it was made up of English MPs meeting in perhaps Westminster Hall or one of the big committee rooms, and they do English business, but they are the existing members of Parliament, not new members of Parliament.
Yes.
This would solve the West Lothian question. It wouldn't cost any extra money, so that's what would concern most people. And this is why the Liberals basically wet their pants over this EV referendum. Nobody wanted that. They were more interested in their homes, their shops, and their businesses. And I have a serious worry that if we go with Paul's policy, it will look as if we're unrealistic, and we're basically crossing the road to pick a fight we don't need. So I would say if there's going to be an English Parliament, we have, obviously the constitutional things have gone on. Surely what we should do is have something that does not cost any more money. That's the only pragmatic solution. I think what Paul's suggesting is going to be a big problem. I'd like you to
Piers Walker, I'm just wholly against this suggestion, and it's really for this reason. 85% of the people in the United Kingdom live in England, and I joined, as you all did, the UK Independence Party rather than the English Independence Party. What is so wrong with this proposal, typified by the gentleman from the Midlands, who comes from an English Democrat background, is this. You look at what happens in Scotland and Wales and say, oh, look, they get cheaper dentures than we do, or they can go to school cheaper than we can, or whatever. But the point is, all the taxation is raised by Westminster, it's divvied up by Westminster. The Scots don't tax us, they can spend their own money, they need a parliament to do it instead of the Scottish office that they had before. Well, that's their business. They don't tax us, we decide how much they get. So I really don't see that we should have an extra parliament, or a new parliament, in this country, just because some people with thin skins can't put up without having rudeness directed at them by people like Alex Salmon. He's an irrelevance to us.
Yes. When I first joined UKIP, I often saw people who told me, well, on Europe it's too late, you cannot leave any longer, you cannot do that and that. And now we have these people advocating for the breakup of our great nation with which we want two world wars. They tell us we should break up into little countries, into little own nations with no communication, no joint identity. They tell us that, and I say, why don't they tell us it's too late on Brussels? Why don't they join the Tory party and say, oh, we'll repatriate some post, do something, rather than advocating principle and pride and freedom? And I say, the last time we gave in Northern Ireland, and we created Stormont, and it was a free lunch for terrorists across the world. The IRA loved it, and I say no to Stormont, and I say no to the Scottish Parliament, and no to the Welsh Parliament. I say
I know this is very Irish. We're actually here
negotiated because they were finished. We'd infiltrated them right to the top. Right to the Second Commandment.
This is exactly the trouble you're going to have if you go ahead with this. You can hear the trouble that you're going to have, guys.
I just want to see boners getting out of prison. A lot of people suffered a lot of loved ones and signed we're all unions. This gentleman says from 1990,
Jonathan from Herefordshire. My committee have asked me to come today because 12 of them, all 12 of them, are against the Paul Nuttall view, and they are so concerned that they are willing to leave the party if this is a policy that's put through. I didn't vote in that, but they have actually passed on their concerns. If we already have a radical policy when we go to the electorate, We're saying to the electorate, look, we're going to take you out of your government that you're in now, in Europe, and we want to bring that government back down. That's quite a big ask of the electorate, to trust us to bring that back to the UK. If we have another radical policy, when they then have to start determining what sort of government they're coming back to, I think it's going to split our vote more ways than we need to. They're not going to understand fully, as we do in this room, the pros and cons of the two arguments, or perhaps a third argument. So I think we will be confusing the electorate, and they, like this room, will be split as to whether they can vote for us or not. And that's why I think we should strike this idea of a change in the British Parliament until such time as we have got that control back to the British Parliament to then consider.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I think the British people are crying out for a party of principle and not a party of pragmatism.
Yes.
I think pragmatism actually is a form of corruption.
Yes.
So when did UKIP stop being a party of principle and start to frame its policy on the basis of what focus groups say in Scotland and Wales? We're a party of the United Kingdom. That is a fundamental principle, and we should be a party of principle.
It's been said, and the justification for this is that the devolution genie is out of the bottle, and it well and truly is. Yeah, we can't put it back. But what we had originally was a proposal that's just been reaffirmed over there, is not to take away these regional assemblies, but to staff them with Westminster MPs. Not other, so it wouldn't do away with Stormont, it wouldn't do away with the Scottish Parliament, it would just change the people who sit in it.
Correct.
And I think that's a very good system.
Mike Nuttall, MEP West Midlands. UKIP believe in small government. We don't want multiple assemblies in different constituent parts of the United Kingdom, but we do need a fair voice from each constituent part of the United Kingdom. The original UKIP policy was one Westminster Parliament and breaking, as we've said, on the constituent days. They'll all break together, so the Welsh go to Wales, the Irish go to Ireland, and so on and so on, and they talk about their own individual matters on those particular days. I thought that was a good policy. I'm still in favour of that policy because it saves money and it loses a whole swathe of politicians that we don't want. I'm trying to make myself redundant as an MEP. I certainly don't want to swathe more across the United Kingdom.